All right, so we are live. We are live on more than one platform. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And for those of you who are joining us or have joined us in the past, thanks a lot. Hi, Charles. Hi, Manuel. I see a bunch of you on TikTok. So if you guys have questions, please put them in while I address naturalization test. That is what we are going to talk about mainly today. Of course, if you have other immigration questions, answer them, and I will try to address as many as I can in the order in which they come back in, and we'll take it from there, okay? So, hi, Yonis. All right, great. So, depends on where you guys are. You'll see me look here. That's TikTok. You'll see me look there. That is the other platforms. So we are going to address the naturalization test. So you have been a permanent resident for at least 5 years. In the case of getting your permanent residency through marriage, you may have been a permanent resident only for 3 years, and you applied to naturalize as a U.S. citizen, and you filled out Form N-400. You did have your biometrics, basically the fingerprints and your picture taken, and you're waiting for the interview, and the time has come. So what do we do now? Okay, so what happens is once you get called for the interview, okay, you are going to be prepared for that interview to be tested on your knowledge of civics and English. They are going to question the knowledge of English by looking over how you read English, how you write English, and they do that. They have, generally speaking, in our locations here, they have an iPad. They tell you to read a sentence from the application or from the screen, and then they have you write a sentence in English. Assuming you pass the English test, then they are going to go to the civics questions. And those are the famous 100 questions that everybody is talking about. So before I get to the civics questions, let's address some of the questions that are coming up. I see a couple of them on TikTok, so let's go there first. Charles, hi, visa was canceled. What can we do for no reason? Yes, in most cases, it happens for a reason. In some, it happens for no reason. That doesn't mean is anything particularly wrong with your application or with your visa. The consulates have been closed for some time. The consulates are not processing any visas at this point. They do not have to tell you the reason for which they are canceling your visa. If the visa is canceled is one thing. If the visa is denied or refused, that's another. If you had a visa and the visa is revoked, that means something totally different. So when you are telling me, Charles, that your visa was canceled, I would like more information. First, I'd like for you to tell me the type of visa that was canceled. Was it canceled, or what were the exact words that were being used in the letter that you received or the email you received? We are, for example, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and most of the clients who call us with visas that have been revoked or canceled are those who work on cruise ships, yachts, and so they have C1Ds, they have B2 visas, okay, or they have B1 to work on yachts. So I don't know what your particular situation is. In this particular situation, they do not want, the employment situation is as such in the United States that there is a shortage of workers, but they do not want necessarily foreign workers to come to the United States and take jobs away from Americans. That is one thing that we hear through the grapevine. That is not my opinion. That is not the way I see it. So it has nothing to do with me. I'm telling you what I see and what I hear, since we talk to each other all the time, all immigration attorneys, okay? So that could be one thing. Second, you could get your visa revoked or canceled if you have been traveling in and outside the United States too much, if you have stayed in the United States longer than you have stayed outside the United States, okay? It is perceived perhaps that you are you have an immigrant intent while you are on a non-immigrant visa. This may be highly technical, but what that means is the officer at the consulate or the officers reviewing all the visas think that you spend way too much time in the United States. You're probably working here, or you're being employed and you're doing this under the table for cash. And they don't want that. So they are going to have you apply at the consulate to get a brand new visa, and again, prove to the consular officer that you have more ties to return back to your country versus coming in, remaining in the United States. So that's probably where you are. You might want to give me more information about your visa, like I asked in the beginning, okay? So give me more about that, Charles, and we'll go over that. Hi from Oman, from Pakistan, leaving Oman. Can I apply for USA visa from Oman? Yes. Here is the problem for all of you who are asking about visas. Consulates are largely closed. US consulates are not processing visas. When they are processing visas in those very, very few locations where they are indeed open, they are open on a limited staff. They are only processing very little. Let me see. Hold on, guys. No, all right. So give me 1 second, guys. All right, so they are not processing, and in those very few locations where they are processing those visas, they have priorities, okay? So national interest first, medical supply, food supply, those are first. National interest waiver applications, if you have a reason to get approved, an expedited request for others. Then they have immigrant visas, which means spouses of US citizens, fiancés of US citizens. Then they have some family preference, not so much. I'm talking, by the time it gets tourist visas, not processed anywhere. It's just ridiculous the way it is, and we do not expect that to change anytime soon. The backlog right now for US visas, it's over 500,000 applications pending before you. So what that means is you have a long way ahead of you before you can even apply. But yes, if you are from Pakistan and you live in Oman, as long as you live there as a resident or on a work visa, you can apply from Oman as soon as it opens. All right. Surrender, my asylum case in immigration office from October 2017. Please tell me how much waiting time. I wish I would tell you, but let me tell you this part though. If it's been pending since October 2017, first things first, you need to make sure that if you moved, you let them know you moved. They need to have your latest address. Okay, they need to have it whenever you move. You need to let them know right away. If you are missing an appointment notice or you don't show up to your appointment for your asylum interview, at that point, you are going to be denied asylum. So you need to make sure with that specific receipt, you can give us a call. We can try to help you navigate that, okay? You can give us a call and we can see while it's pending. We can see the location. We can see at which office. We can see what their processing times are. And then, of course, we can look to see how strong your case is. But I need you to know this. Asylum pending for a long time, it's a good thing. The longer it's pending, the better it is for you. Okay? So that's not something to seriously discount. You also have a work permit based on that asylum case. So you really are in great shape, okay? Surrender, so I hope that was good. Smart Yana, second thing, which type of visa can I apply for Oman? Well, it depends. Go through all my other TikToks because I looked and I explained a bunch of visa types. There are 186 different types of visa. For me to tell you which one you can apply, I would need to know a lot more information about you, your family, your situation, your age, your country, and all those things, okay? So there is a TikTok that tells you the minimum information that I need in order for me to tell you. Generally speaking, what type of visa? I don't know if it's a temporary visa you're looking for. I don't know if you are looking for a permanent visa, okay? How many times it takes over 21? I did not see the other message, LC, so I don't know how many times takes over 21. How many time takes over 21? I need a lot more information. Any news on application for Safi Arona? Okay, any news on application for siblings was filed back in 2017 and they are living in Afghanistan. Minimum wait time for siblings right now, it's 14 to 15 years. Okay, there is nothing I can do about that. 14 years. We should be able to, let me see, yeah. So Safia, yeah, so 14 years minimum. I would like to see and talk to you and perhaps your siblings as well about what other options they might have. Okay, because not every, being on siblings, it could be your only option, but it's not always the case. It's actually not the case in most cases. David, the interview is scheduled for January. Great. Tell me which interview, and then I can help you with that. I'm in Muscat, Oman. I want to apply U.S. visa. Okay, great. As soon as the consulates are opening, then we are going to talk about it. NVC not scheduled by interview case. Yes, as I explained earlier, consulates are not open. They are not scheduling interview. In very few places in the country, they are in the world, they are scheduling consular interviews for visas. There is a huge backlog of 500,000 people ahead of you. Okay, that also depends by country. So let me explain to you how that works. Pretend NVC, okay, is like a waiting room. You have to wait in the waiting room until the person inside says, okay, you can let 5 more people in. Okay, so the person inside, in this case, it's the consulate. All right, the consulate has not yet told NVC, send me your next 100 applicants for interviews, okay? And usually that happens at the normal situation when they are open, and they are not. So nothing is moving at NVC. Very, very, very few exceptions, okay? So I'm not surprised that NVC has not scheduled your interview case yet. Is it only US visa or also other visas? Thanks for asking. We only handle immigration to the United States, and especially if you are already in the United States, we do not handle other countries, and I'm not licensed to give you advice on immigrating to other countries. Again, you said NBC not scheduled your interview and not have got an interview letter last 7 months. That's nothing. There are people who haven't gotten it in a year and a half. You'll be fine. You need to wait. One question about my immigration case. I filed my work permit based on pending asylum. Okay. And then I don't see the rest of it. So, okay. So if you file for work permit based on your pending asylum, then it takes about 7.5 months to get your work permit. I don't see a question. I just see a statement, so I don't know what to tell you. Jay wants to know, can you please tell me, after biometric, how long to receive work permit to get on I-130 on Vermont? An I-130 does not by itself allow you to get the work permit. I want to know the category for the I-130. Second, I-130 doesn't allow you to get a work permit. You're doing something wrong. Just because you get your biometrics, that doesn't mean you're getting a work permit. If you only filed I-130, you're never getting a work permit. Give us a call and let us help you. Manpreet, yes, you can ask me questions. All right. Hi, watching from Vermont. Hi. Okay, Savani, okay, we move, update my new address to USCIS, but they send by biometric to old place. What should I do? You need to call them. You call 1-800-USCIS's number, okay? And first, you fill out the change of address online. You do it again if they didn't update it. If you have confirmation that you updated, then you call USCIS and you tell them to send you another biometrics notice to your new address. Okay? Suleiman, I have fiance in US. We never met before. How can we work about it? If you have not met, she cannot be your fiance according to US law. For her to petition for her fiance, so for you, it would need to be at least one meeting in person in the past 2 years. Okay, so you have to meet in person at least once. If you cannot travel to the United States, which is in most cases that is the case, then she can travel to meet you in your country, or you guys can meet in a third country. You need to meet in person at least once. And then she can petition for you, and the process could take about 7 to 12 months after that, and you'll be here, then you have to get married. Hi, ma'am, need lottery visa. I don't have any update on that until the government gives us an update. There will not be a visa lottery until probably October, and we are not even sure about that since no visas are being processed. How to find USA employers? So many people ask that. Well, let me tell you something. First, immigration lawyers in the United States are neither marriage brokers or employer brokers or career centers. How you find USA employers is how you find any other employer. You go online and you search for employers in your field based on your education and experience, and you find them on the job boards online. Some of those websites, and I don't know, depending on which country you are in, some of those may be blocked for you. I have no knowledge of that. Could be monster.com, Career Builder, what other job? Indeed, there are a few other job platforms there. And you can also search directly with a specific US employer if that's who you're interested in. Work visa procedure. Well, there are about 75 different work visas, and the procedure for each of them is different. So I cannot give you any information based on that. If you want to see how you can get a work visa, know this, that generally you cannot self-petition. You actually need to find a job employer who's willing to petition for you, basically sponsor you. They need to do the paperwork for you, and that's when you apply for the visa after they do the paperwork for you. Hi, Jay. So you said it's a 485, not an I-130. Okay, good. So yes, if you had your biometrics done, you should get a work permit in about 7.5 months. That's from the time you applied, not from the time of the biometrics. Did I violate, misrepresent my B2 visa if I filed adjustment of status after 102 days of entry? Oh, that is oddly specific. Depends. What was your intent at the time you filed for your B2 visa? If at the time you apply for your visa, your intent was, I just want to get to the United States, get married, and file for a green card, that is fraud. And yes, that is misrepresentation, that is immigrant intent, and your green card could be denied. If that intent was formed after you were already in the United States, that it's a different story. Watching from UAE, Oman, Ghana. All right, guys. How long does it take to approve I-751? After every year you receive extension on your passport for your, I don't know what that means. It's not a full question. And if I'm assuming how long does it take to get the 751 approved, right now it's over 18 months, and it's some places it's 2.5 years. So you might wait for 2.5 years until your 751 is approved. Let's get some questions from YouTube, and then we move back to TikTok. Okay, guys? So be patient. Let's give other people a chance. So it says naturalization test. It asks if you ever claim to be a U.S. citizen. Now you mentioned on another video, if someone bought a home, maybe they said yes without knowing. How can we check to know if the person did or not? Ooh, that is a very good question. And it is, since we are talking, actually, the topic is supposed to be naturalization applications. Yes. If you ever claimed to be a United States citizen, that is false claim to citizenship, and that could forever prevent you from obtaining citizenship. Not only that, depending on the officer and the gravity of the situation, where you said it, how you said it, and all those things, you could actually be placed in removal proceedings. That means you could be placed in deportation and have to see an immigration judge. So if you anywhere claimed to be a U.S. citizen, it could be for you registered to vote, or for an employer years ago when you came and you had no papers, but you spoke perfect English, and the employer couldn't say that you were an immigrant or not, or whatever the situation is. Or you applied for a mortgage and you wanted to get that mortgage with your spouse, and you claimed to be a citizen for the purposes of that. Those are very, very serious. And there are ways to find out what exactly you claim. You will need to get that specific form from the employer, for example, where you said that you're a citizen. It's a 9-9 form. You could get it from the mortgage application, for example, from DMV, if that's where you did it. If you registered to vote, there is a voter registration form. So let's worry about those things, but give us a call, because that is very serious if you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen, okay? Did or did not claim to be a U.S. citizen if we cannot remember or are not sure. We can help you with that. Give us a call. We have ways to check certain things. And if not, you might actually have to run a full background check and see if you claim such a thing. Can I apply for advanced parole together with renewing my TPS? Yes, you can, but you should not. All right, let's get back to people on TikTok. I'm rejected 5 times in tourist visa. Is it possible for me to try again? Yes, it is possible for you to try again. First, consulates are closed, so right now they are not issuing any visa whatsoever. Second, if you were rejected 5 times, they may have told you why you were rejected. You might want to fix that before you are applying. Generally speaking, the consular officer wants to see, and I just put a TikTok on that, I think earlier today. The consular officer wants to see that you have ties back to your country and you're not coming here to remain here. They want to see that if they are weighing your desire to, your ties to US, the ties to US are not stronger than your ties to your country. So they want to see financial ties back home, basically that you have property or that you have money in the bank. They want to see that you're well off there, so you have no reason to live in the United States. A solid job there that's been for a long period of time, or that you're a business owner with employees who depend on you. They want to see that you are perhaps married and have children, and they are not traveling with you, because that tells them that you are going to go back to your family. If you don't have those, it is very unlikely that you are going to get it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have everything, but you have to convince the officer in those 2 seconds that they are looking at your application that you are going to return back to your home country. I would not do it until I fix the reasons for their denial. If they didn't tell you why they denied you, I just told you basically what they're looking for. I have a friend who's an American citizen who wants to send me invitation letter. They can send it right now. You're not getting any visas. Not because of you. They're just not processing any. Can my cousin file a visa for me? No, they cannot. Okay, Jay, mama, marriage-based green card, okay. Case, how long after biometric? I told you it has nothing to do with biometric. It's from the date of the receipt, and it's about 7.5 months for you to get your work permit, Jay. Hi from Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much. She's having a problem. Okay. She's having a problem of her vitamin D, so she can't get yellow fever to travel. No, she's giving you an excuse. That's not it. Can my cousin file for me, please? No. How can I migrate to the United States with my family? Invest in the United States and create US jobs, have an employer willing to sponsor you, and then your family travels with you, or have a family member petitioning for you and your family. Suleiman was thinking if there is a way I can travel to meet her. No, you cannot come to the United States and meet her unless you already have a tourist visa, but you can meet in a third country. What should I do when SEAC IV status shows expiring soon because I already qualified from NVC? They are going to extend those. You just have to wait. And you need to make sure you communicate regularly with NVC. You might want to send them a public inquiry form every 2-3 months or so. All right. There is no reason to post it 4 times. I got it. Person crossed Mexico border 2 times illegally. Can he get green card if he has 2 kids born in USA? If they cross the border twice, it depends. Are they subject to the permanent bar or not? When did they cross? It depends. Was it before 1996? Was it after that? It depends how old the children are. It depends on many, many, many things. But yes, we have had people who crossed the border illegally twice, and they were able to get the green card without leaving the United States. They had US citizen children. So yes, it is possible. It is likely. It depends on your particular situation, okay? Can you please make a video on stock marriage interview question? There is no such thing as stock marriage interview question. If you mean Stokes, then you already know more than you need to know, and you can find those questions online. There is nothing for me to do a video on. How does a company sponsor someone? The company would have to show that they cannot find qualified US workers willing or able to take the job, and they have to show that they are going to pay you the same wages that they would pay a US worker. As such, you have to apply for the job. They have to offer you the position. You cannot lie to them and tell them you are eligible to work in the United States. You have to tell them that you wish to be sponsored, and at that point, the company will make the decision. And if they do decide to hire you, there is a process that they have to go through. And at that point, they need to sponsor you for a temporary visa or a permanent visa, okay? So they need to go through that whole process first. That alone could take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, and then you can come to the United States. All right. How to apply for the US visa? It depends on the type of visa. Generally speaking, you can apply on travel.state.gov. And that's where you apply. The type of visa, which is what you're probably asking, and there are 186 different types of visas. So without knowing a lot more about what you're trying to accomplish and about your personal situation, education, financial situation, I cannot give you enough information that will help you. Can you travel with extensions on your passport every year? Is it an extension on your green card, or is it an extension of your passport validity? It depends on where you are from. The department, if it's passport validity, for example, people from Venezuela, we know that even though the passport expired, there are no consular services available to people from Venezuela. And in such case, yes, they can travel with the extensions. Other than that, It really depends. What should I do when SEAC ID says I already addressed that? Ooh, my brother got DUI, then he tried to apply for I-314 form. It's possible. Absolutely possible. But the minute he leaves the United States, he is going to be stuck outside the United States. He's really self-deporting. He should not. He can apply. He shouldn't. Okay. Salam alaikum, ma'am. I need one U.S. worker visa, please. Alaikum assalam. No, you need a U.S. work visa. I address those. First, you need to have a U.S. employer. So you need to find a job in the United States, and you need to tell them that you are looking for sponsorship, and then they need to go through the process. Okay. When you go for extension in your passport and they take your photo and fingerprint, what is that? Extension on your passport? I don't know. Did you go to USCIS? What application did you file? What exactly did you do? Because that doesn't give me enough information. What application do you have pending? Okay, what about getting passport for my daughter? Passport for my daughter. Her father is a U.S. citizen. If her father is a U.S. citizen, she may or may not be a U.S. citizen. If she's not yet a U.S. citizen, we can help you get there, but she might need to apply for residency first and then immediately apply for citizenship after that. Don't take that process lightly, because if she's not doing it before she is 18, she actually loses that opportunity, okay? They told me to try next time all the 5 times. I couldn't understand at all. You have not proved that you are going to return back to your country. That's why they denied you your visa. Yes, Popal, we do handle special immigrant visas. Yes. I'm assuming you're from Afghanistan or Iraq. Can you talk about withholding of removal? Oh, my favorite subject. Not really. Okay, so yes, we'll talk about that. I'll get you guys back on YouTube in a minute, all right? So withholding of removal. Let's put it this way. That means this. You applied for asylum or Convention Against Torture, and the judge ordered your removal, but then decided not to enforce it. That's what it means. That means you have a removal order, and they gave you withholding. With the withholding of removal, you are eligible to get a work permit. You are in a great situation. However, the only problem you are going to have is you cannot get a green card with withholding of removal. The risk with having a withholding of removal is, let's say you get married to a U.S. citizen. Nothing else is preventing you from getting a green card except the fact that you have withholding. You can ask the judge to reopen your proceeding, and we can help you with that. The risk is the judge can deny it. The judge can reopen the proceeding and then actually deport you. So there is a huge risk. As long as you understand the risk, then you can still get permanent residency, okay? Give us a call. We might be able to help. Which month green card lottery? Whenever the government decides, usually in October. Need to talk to you in person. Is it possible? Absolutely. You book a consultation. The link is in bio, and then we chat. If I already have a job in the States, but I live in Jamaica, how do we start the process of sponsoring? If you already have a job in the United States, you or your employer can book a consultation, and we can go over your qualifications for different types of visas, work visas, and then we need to determine, is it permanent or temporary, and we'll take it from there, okay? So I'll get to you guys on TikTok back in a minute. Let me go to YouTube. Can I apply? Yeah, we already addressed that. If a child is under 18, can he or she get NATS at the same time as the parents? Yes. Okay. Hey, love from London. Hey, London. All right. Please repeat. What should I do? No, I'm not repeating that. I said it twice. You're welcome, Jay. I want to come with my wife and my 2 kids. What are the requirements? It really depends if you are coming permanently or temporarily, what your intent is to be in the United States. And it depends on many, many things. And if you want to know requirement, it really is very particular to you. So you might want to book a consultation. US accepting tourist visas now? Nope, not yet. Extension for green card. Okay, so you apply for a 751. This is how you travel, okay, while your green card is pending. Your new green card is pending, okay? When you applied, if you applied an I-90, okay, then your green card is automatically extended, okay, until you get it. If you apply for conditions of residency, I would only travel outside the United States if I filed jointly with my spouse. If you filed a waiver petition for your green cards, because I don't know, extension could be anything, could be removal of conditions, could be just an extension of the 10-year green card. You can travel with your passport, expired green card, and the receipt. Not in all cases, so be very careful, okay? And if you have a DUI, I would definitely not travel. How long does the family petition visa take? My brother filed for me in 2014. He's a US citizen. It's about 14 years. Blessed woman of faith. About 14 years. You might want to look into other options. Yes, you can travel with extension for permanent resident on your passport every year until they decide on your application. Here's the problem with that. If it's been pending for a long time and you haven't heard back, okay, something is going on with your application. If that is the case, you do not want to travel abroad. If your application gets denied when you are outside the United States, you might have issues coming back in. How to apply for my daughter's US passport, I addressed that. Ma'am, U visa, I can apply now. So how long been come in work permit green card? Did you apply or you did not apply? If you have a U visa pending, you can now definitely apply for a work permit. And it takes about 7.5 months for a work permit. Green card, you're not getting until after your U visa is approved and you go through that process. Give us a call and let us help you with that. All right. What to do to get a lawyer for my case? You give us a call, you book a consultation, and then we can take it from there. When you go for extension for 751 pending and they take your fingerprint and photo, what is that? That's simply that, your fingerprint and your photo. It doesn't mean anything, it just means your case is moving forward. Great, so you're from Afghanistan, I guess. I worked with US Army Corps of Engineering. Yes, you can get an SIV visa, most likely, so give us a call, we can help you with that. I have I-94, I need work permit. Yes, you do. With an I-94, you are not allowed to work, depending on the type of visa that you have. You might, if you are talking regular I-94, doesn't allow you to do anything in the United States. It just means you are inspected when you came in the United States. But what are your options? What are you going to do next, okay? I filed 765, my wife last December. They have not made any decision. What should I do? Give us a call and we can take over the case and see what we can do. Just because you filed for a 765, that doesn't mean anything. I need to know based on what. And I need to know how strong the application was and where did you file it. Also, since last December, it's only about 7 months. You might need to wait a little bit longer. I married US citizen, but they never gave me visa to come to the United States. Something was wrong with the application, or the US citizen was not able to prove that they could support you. If you are still married to the U.S. citizen, the U.S. citizen can petition for you again, okay? Start from scratch, or you can start middle of the process. How can you get a joint account if both you and your spouse live in different countries? You don't have to have a joint account, but you can have joint account. You don't have to have a joint account to get your visa approved, if that's what you're talking about. But people from different countries can get joint accounts. Court gave me withholding of removal 2018. Now I have been since in the USA. Can I change my status? I would not suggest reopening withholding of removal, because when you're applying for that, you will need what's called a qualifying relative for many of the relief applications. And unless you're also married to a U.S. citizen or have U.S. citizen children, you are not going to get that overturned. And you're just going to be again in deportation proceedings. Why would you want to do that? Keep the withholding and you'll be fine, at least for a long time. How do I apply for my daughter birth abroad passport? There are U.S. citizen services at select consulates outside the United States. If you are a U.S. citizen, okay, if you are a U.S. citizen, you need to do a consular report of birth abroad, and you need to go there. Both parents need to go to the consulate and do that. You need to reach to your consulate first, okay, and make that appointment. How long does it take work permit? 7.5 months. Okay. All right. So I think we addressed, let me one more time. My dad's a citizen. He applied for my sisters. They're in India. Do you know what's the status of the I-130? No, you have an I-130 receipt, and you can check the status of the I-130 receipt. If you're still at the I-130 part, that could take for a long time, and then it's going to be stuck at National Visa Center as well until they start processing visas. For India, it's even longer than 4 years. Last I checked, it was like 22 years. You might want to look into different options. No, your uncle cannot petition for you. All right, so we addressed all of the questions. I'm only going to address one more thing on the naturalization test. So there are 100 questions. They will ask about 10 questions, and you need to answer 6 of them correctly, okay? And then you are going to pass the naturalization test. So what's a requirement for my wife to bring me to the United States? We just got married last month. Your wife should give us a call, and we can help her with the process. You're a DV 2021 winner. Oh my goodness. It's stuck in litigation. Nothing is processing right now. All right, guys. We spent enough time together right now. We'll be again live on Friday at 3 o'clock. And we'll chat with you guys then. Okay? Bye now.